just yet. Item number 4, Timo, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Item number 6, Dan Seto. Good morning, Dan. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
And item number 7, Miss Veal, Ann Veal. Ann, if you're on the line, if you can raise your hand. I don't see you at this time. Ann Veal from the Bureau of Street Services. Hector Benuelos, you have your hand raised.
Can you hear me, Fernando?
Yes. Are you presenting instead of Ann for number 7?
Yes, it would be me for item number 7.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, could you forward the link? This is kind of weird.
Mr. Benuelos, to the extent possible, if your bureau is supposed to communicate who's the presenters, I had Ann Veal. I can do my best to send you the links, but we are getting ready to get started in the next 9 minutes, so it may have to be after the meeting starts.
All right, if not, I'll deal with it. Okay.
Okay, so item number 7, correct?
That is correct.
Perfect. I am going to promote you right now into the panel, and you should be getting an invitation in the next 30 seconds. And you should now be part of the panel. Now you should be able to open up your video cam.
Got it. We're here.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks for your patience, Hector. Again, Mr. Nadir Shah.
Hi, good morning.
There you are. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. You also have Mr. Mike Ruiz from the Bureau of Sanitation, should you have any questions or support for your item. That's item number 2. Item number 3, I'm still looking for Bert Mucklebust. Bert Mucklebust from the Bureau of Engineering. Lindsay, if you can hear me, if you can please press *6 to unmute your microphone, or if you're dialing in through a laptop. Item number 3, Mr. Mucklebust, has that changed, presenters?
Hi, Dr. Campos, can you hear me?
Yes.
I am going to be messaging Bert right now.
Okay, great. I will keep looking out for him.
Great, thank you.
We should get started in about 8 minutes. Mr. Wang, George Wang, I will send you an invitation in the next 30 seconds to join the meeting. That's for item number 4. Great. At this time, for the Bureau representatives that are on the line, you will not be moved into the board meeting as a panelist, but you are joining us through audio, and you can also see us through the webinar. Should the board or any of the board members have any questions for the Bureau representatives, I will go ahead and move you into the meeting at that time. For Bureau of Contract Administration, we have Ms. Seffi Wiles. Bureau of Engineering, Michael Petonnet, and I apologize for mispronouncing your last name, Michael. Item number, Bureau of Street Services, Abram Tejeda. Sanitation, Mark Fernandez, and Street Lighting, Richard Semengumba. Thank you all for joining us. I do have a hand raised at this time. Dr. P. Afashte. My apologies for mispronouncing your last name. Can you please let me know which item you'd like to speak on? You can do so by pressing *6. There you go.
*6. Do you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Which item would you like to speak on this morning? Dr. Afrashte?
Yes.
Hi, good morning. Are you with the City of Los Angeles or a staff member, or are you a member of the general public that would like to speak on any of the items?
I'm in general public.
General public. Okay. Perfect. Thank you for joining us. We haven't started the meeting, but we should get started in the next 6 minutes. I will go ahead and put you in the queue for general public comments. And thank you for joining us. At this time, I'm going to ask any members from the general public that are joining us for today, Wednesday, September 15, 2001, for the Board of Public Works meeting. If you would like to provide any general public comments or commentary on any of the items for today's regular agenda, if you can please raise your hand by pressing *9 on your landline devices, or if you're joining us through the Zoom application, you can raise your hand by hovering towards the lower end of your screen and raising your hand. At this time, we do have one person with their hand raised, and we just have a couple more that are raising their hand. We'll just give a few more seconds to individuals that are joining us from the general public that would like to provide any comments or any general public comments for today's board meeting for Wednesday, September 15th. You can do so by pressing *9 to raise your hand, or you can, if you're joining us through the Zoom application, you can raise your hand by hovering towards the lower right-hand side of your screen and raising your hand. Great. We have a couple of callers on the line that have raised their hand. The first caller we've already identified, Dr. Afferstay. We'll get back to you, Dr. Afferstay, in a few minutes. I'm going to move on to the next caller, Nora Ross. Nora Ross, can you please let us know which item you'd like to speak on? Hi, Nora. Your microphone has been unmuted.
Hi, for item number 5.
Perfect. Thank you, Nora, for joining us. We haven't started yet, but we should get started in the next couple of minutes, and I'll put you in. I'll indicate that you're on the line for item number 5.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Next caller on the line, M. Patterson. M. Patterson, if you can please unmute your microphone, please let us know which item you'd like to speak on. M. Patterson, you can unmute your microphone by pressing *6 to unmute your microphone, or you can unmute your microphone by hovering towards the right-hand side of your screen or above your icon on the Zoom application.
Hi, sorry
Hi.
about that. I'm on my phone and I couldn't find it.
Oh, no worries.
This is Mary Patterson, and I would like to speak on item 5, please.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for
Hear them. You can
no worries.
you can
Ms.
use the other microphone.
Ms. Patterson, we haven't started yet, but we should get started in the next 3 minutes. So thank you for joining us, and I will go ahead and put you in the queue for item number 5.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We have 2 more callers that have raised their hand. We're going to go ahead and move forward with Michaela Browning. Michaela Browning, if you can please unmute your microphone, please let us know which item you'd like to speak on.
Hello, good morning. I would also like to speak on number 5.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Browning, for joining us, and we should get started in the next couple of minutes. And I will put you in the queue. Dr. Afferstay, I'm just going to ask you if you can please put your microphone on mute. We are still going through identification of members that are joining us for public commentary. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Browning, I apologize for the interruption. We will go ahead and put you in for item number 5. We'll move on to the next caller, Joellen, Jolene or Joellen. If you can please unmute your microphone by pressing *6 or unmute your microphone.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Which item would you like to speak on?
Number 5, please.
Great. And is it Joellen or is it just Joe?
It is Joellen.
Joellen. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have 2 more individuals that have raised their hand. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next 2 callers. Caller EZ. Caller EZ, if you can unmute your microphone, please state your name and which item you'd like to speak on.
Elvira Zamora, item number 5.
Elvira, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to try to get started in the next minute. You have about 4 people ahead of you for item number 5. Once we get to that item, I will announce that you're on the line. Thank you so much for joining us again. And then the last caller on the line is Sabina, Sabina. If you can unmute your microphone by pressing *6 or unmute your microphone if you're using the Zoom application. Which item would you like to speak on?
I would like to speak on item number 5.
Great. Thank you so much, Sabina. We should get started in the next, well, in a couple of seconds. And thank you for joining us for item number 5. At this time, Dr. Afrishte, I am going to send you an invitation to join the meeting for item number 5. I do ask that you keep your microphone on mute and your video cam turned off until we get to item number 5. If your microphone or your video cam becomes disruptive, then we will ask the chair to provide you a warning and possibly remove you from the line. Again, I'm going to go ahead and send you an invitation to join the meeting at this time as a panelist. I'm also going to send an invitation to Miss Ross, Nora Ross. I understand that you are part of the applicants for item number 5, and I will go ahead and send you an invitation to join the meeting at this time. I do ask you to please keep your microphone muted and your video cam turned off until item number 5 has been called on the table. At that time, the president will be notified that you are on the line and representing the applicants. And one more invitation is going to go out to Mary Patterson. Miss Patterson, the same thing. I will go ahead and send you an invitation at this time to join the meeting as a panelist for item number 5. The same as Dr. Afrishte and Miss Ross. Please keep your microphone on mute and turn off your video cam until item number 5 has been called to the table. Mr. Malkabos, thank you so much for joining us from the Bureau of Engineering. You should receive an invitation to join the meeting for item number 3. And Temo Yanis, Mr. Yanis, I have Ms. Patterson and Ms. Ross and Dr. Afrishte joining you for item number 5. Did I miss anyone else?
Yes, you missed Joe Ellen.
Joe Ellen, are you part of the applicants or are you part of the opponents?
Applicant.
Mr. Yanis, is that okay with you? Yeah, okay. Joe Ellen, I am going to go ahead and send you an invitation to join the meeting at this time. Same as the other panelists for item number 5, I ask that you please keep your microphone on mute and keep your video cam off until item number 5 has been announced, and then we will go ahead and ask you to turn on your video cams at that time. And thank you very much for joining us. Great. Let's go ahead and test the video cams. And Mr. President, I apologize for being 3 minutes behind schedule here, but we are going to test our video cams. I see President Good, I see Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner Villegas, and Commissioner Garcia just joined. Good morning, all. And I'm looking for Dr. Davis. Dr. Davis, if you're on the line, if you can please open up your video cam and your audio. Dr. Davis, we'd like to test your audio and video cam. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. Letting me in.
Perfect. Mr. President, I believe we are finally ready to get started. If you are ready, I can go ahead and turn on the video cams.
Yes, sir. Let's get going.
Great. Just confirming video, 30 seconds more.
No. Do you want me to?
Again, if I can ask individuals that are joining us to mute your microphones, we are getting some feedback for some of the callers. We are getting started in the next 10 seconds. Mr. President, you are now in record mode.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Wednesday meeting of the Los Angeles City Board of Public Works. It's Wednesday, September 15, 2021. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, members of the public who have joined us. Good morning, Dr. Campos.
Good morning, Mr. President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Establishing roll call and quorum for today, we have President Good, Vice President Garcia, President Pro Tem Davis, and Commissioners Villegas and Caloza. President Good, you do have quorum at this time. Currently, we do not have any callers on the line for the Neighborhood Council commentary. However, we do have one caller on the line under general public comment, and we also have 3 individuals that are here for item number 5 that are on the line.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. And good morning, Mr. Jordan.
Morning.
All right. Let's go ahead and take general public comment, Dr. Campos.
Great, thank you, Mr. President. We'll move on to general public comment. Dr. Afferstay, you have 2 minutes to speak under general public comment. You are part of the panelists at this time. Can you please open up your video cam and your video cam's on, thank you, and audio line. You will have 2 minutes to speak under general public comment.
Are you with me?
Yes, please go ahead. You have 2 minutes under general public comment.
Thank you. Very nice meeting you. Good morning. And I have been waiting for this moment for more than 4 years. Always I was trying to get an appointment with Mr. Bloomingfield in district office in the Valley, but we couldn't for a few years. And then until they told me that it is impossible to get an appointment in that district. So I went to downtown LA and asked for an appointment, and finally they set up an appointment for me in downtown LA. So I got the appointment, and I met Mr. Bloomingfield in the district office. He was a very nice man, and I told him the story that I was trying to see him, and he said he was sorry. And then I told the story about farmers market, that they are closing
Mr.
the
President,
street.
this is general public comment. I believe the speaker will have an opportunity to speak when we call number 5. This time is reserved for those members of the public who wish to speak to items generally within the board's jurisdiction, but not on the agenda. We have comment time during the agenda when those items are called. Again, this is general public comment. So if the speaker could not speak to item number 5, she'll have an opportunity to speak on that later.
The issue is the street closure for farmers market, and then Mr. Bloomingfield asked us to get the petition, so we did, and we collect many signature from the occupants, from the resident, from within the closure, and I provided everything to you, including the phone numbers of the all petitioners, to facilitate, to assist you, to get in touch with you, to investigate about all the applicants or the petitioners' information. And then we made a survey about and this within the closure. In our finding and survey, we found that there are in total 73 businesses, 73 offices and retail stores.
Please wrap up. It's 2 minutes, Dr.
12.
Doctor, so that's 2 minutes. So we, in the interest of fairness, in this public in general, we allow everybody gets 2 minutes of public comment. As it is, Doctor, again, as Mr. Jordan explained, general public comment is largely on items not on the agenda. You're speaking to an item on the agenda, and so I went ahead and let you finish that, but we do stop at 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
In the interest of fairness. So, okay, thank you. So general public comment is now closed. That was it, right, Dr. Campos? That was the last.
That is correct, Mr. President.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and close out general public comments.
Okay, so general public comment is closed. All right. Item number, let's go, well, actually, we'll take the minutes first. Minutes from Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. I'll motion to approve those.
I'll second.
Go ahead. Okay, any concerns or objections? President Pro Tem Davis, Commissioner?
No objections from me.
All right, I'm hearing no objections. The minutes from August 25th are approved, adopted and approved forthwith. All right, that brings us to item 1. Item 1 is receipt of bids. We have bids for Highway Safety Improvement Program Cycle 7, 9N left turn signal modification, formerly and 17 signal modification citywide, and Highway Safety Improvement Program Cycle 723 RRFB 1 Hawk citywide, formerly 28 RRFB citywide. Work order E1908304, E1908266, estimated cost $7,809,522, and these are in this project's in CDs 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, and 15. Then also, we will receive bids from Reimagine Ventura Project, Phase 1. This is in CD3. Work order E1908488. And this is the estimated cost of the project is $1,039,578. This is in CD3. Hello, Matthew. Hello, Dr. Campos. Yeah, please proceed with the reading of the bids.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, will now begin to open up the bids for the first project. Again, this is for the Highway Safety Improvement Program, Cycle 7-9 left turn signal. City has estimated this project to be at $7,809,522 even. We did receive one bid from Crosstown Electrical and Data Incorporated for a total bid amount of seconds. For a total bid amount of $10,314,023.95. That's 10314,023.95 from Crosstown Electrical and Data Incorporated. Mr. President, that concludes the bid opening for the first project. We will now begin to open up bids for the second project. The second project is for the Reimagine Ventura project, Phase 1 in Council District 3. City engineer has estimated this project to be at $1,039,578 even. We received one bid for the second project. That bid is from Baker Electric Incorporated for a total bid amount of $1,371,535 even. That's 1371535 from Baker Electric Incorporated. For the record, line item number 4, line item number 5, the total bid amount has been lined out by the contractor, and all 3 lines have been initialed. Mr. President, that concludes the bid opening for the second bid and all bids for today's agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. Thank you, Matthew. I will take a motion to receive and approve and receive these bids.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Closer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Any concerns? Davis or Garcia? Thank you, Dr. Campos. All right, hearing no concerns, these bids are received forthwith. All right, let's go ahead, folks, and forward to item number 5. Item number 5. Dr. Campos, you back?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How many speakers do we have on item 5?
Mr. President, we have 3 speakers from the general public that would like to speak on item number 5. In addition to that, the Bureau of Street Services has invited the applicants, Ms. Patterson, Ms. Ross, and Ms. Joellen to join Bureau of Street Services and do a short presentation to your board. In addition to that, the Bureau of Street Services has also invited Ms. F. Frashte, and I apologize for mispronouncing the last name, who will provide her testimony in opposition of item number 5. If you'd like, we can go ahead and take the 3 callers at this time. Or actually, you have to call it into the record first. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. For clarification, for the sake of clarification, Streets LA invited Dr. Afrishte. Sorry, Doctor.
Yes, the Bureau of Street Services has, yes.
Yeah, you can call me Perry. It's easier for you to pronounce.
Thank you. And
thank you.
My apologies, Doctor. Okay. Yeah, so I'll read item 5 into the record to kick us off. This is a special permit, Canoga Park Farmers Market, recommending the board approve the Canoga Park Farmers Market to continue operating under permit number 202-103-33-2021. And let's hear from Streets LA.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Temo Yanes with Street Services, Investigation Enforcement. I issue permits for the public right-of-way for all special events and farmers markets. The item in question is the Canoga Park Farmers Market. The application was submitted on June 18th, 2021. All required documents for this permit to move forward were submitted, including payment. We did receive some word of opposition during the processing by Dr. Perry, who's on the line in opposition. And I have been speaking to also the council office and all parties involved. So the bottom line on this is basically the farmers market occupies Owens Mouth Avenue from West Sherman Way to West Wyandotte Street. It occupies it every Saturday from 7 a.m. to noon approximately. And yeah, there is opposition on it. We have all the documents we needed to move forward in permitting. From the aspect of our department, we have received all documents in question. The only thing to resolve here is complaints from the general public of the closure, specifically from Dr. Perry, who has also acquired a numerous amount of signatures in opposition that also include people in the same vicinity of the closure. So that's the reason for the question here and the motion here.
Thank you, Mr. Yanis. Okay, so we have, did you invite folks to speak or is it just here for questions?
I have applicants. They asked for their voice to be heard also. They have been working with the council, with even with the opposition also, and trying to make this farmers market work. And I wanted to be able to speak on their behalf from both sides. Dr. Perry is in opposition as well. She represents the numerous signatures signed by the local business owners, and she'll provide more information on the opposition and how it's impacting their businesses.
All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give how many folks from the applicant are here?
We have we have numerous people. Actually, I wrote them down as we have them, but that we're giving access. I think we have 3. Nora Ross is and Miss Mary Patterson are the applicants, and Dr. Perry is the opposing.
Okay, I want to hear from Miss Ross and who is the other applicant?
Mary Patterson.
Miss Ross and Miss Patterson, and then I'm going to give Dr. Perry, since Dr. Perry has already spoken during general comment on the item, I'll give her one more bite at the apple here. Everyone gets no more than 2 minutes, and what we'll start with is Miss Ross and Miss Patterson, then Dr. Perry, and then you can close it, wrap it back up, Mr. Giannis, okay?
Mr. President, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, just for clarification, procedural clarification, we do have callers on the line for public comments for this item. Would you like to hear those comments before the applicants provide their real party of interest testimony, or would you like to consider those items or those callers at this time?
Thank you, Dr. Campos. I'll tell you what, I'm going to rescind what I just said. Let's hear the public comment. That may cover it, and then we'll go from there, okay? So yes, Dr. Campos, let's go ahead and hear the public comment.
Great. Thank you, Mr. President. Fernando Campos again, Executive Officer. The Board of Public Works is now considering item number 5. They are now opening up for general public or public comments on item number 5. We have 3 callers on the line. We'll start with the first caller, Michaela Browning. If you can please unmute your microphone by pressing *6, or if you're joining us through the Zoom app, you can go ahead and hover at the lower right-hand side to unmute your microphone. You will have 2 minutes to speak on item number 5. Please go ahead.
Good morning. So I'm the owner of Coastal Pacific. We organize and we work with Main Street Canoga Park to organize and facilitate the market every week. We feel that the market is a great source for residents to purchase affordable farm fresh, locally food. Our goal is not only to better the community, but to bring it together. I would also like to highlight that most of our vendor sales are coming from government programs that you provide, such as EBT and WIC. We're also currently working with the Rotary Club to create job and help fairs for the community, and just any customers that are walking through the market that they can engage and just help create a better community for Canoga Park. I feel also, and the farmers markets are especially important during a pandemic. It's far more safer than an indoor grocery store where it can be crowded and congested, while at a farmer's market it's easy to implement the 6-foot rule. All of our vendors are wearing masks, and so it's easy for us to be in regulations with you guys and with the city. That's all I'd like to say.
Thank you, Ms. Browning. Go ahead and move on to the next caller. Just as a reminder to members on the panel, if you can mute your microphones, we are getting some feedback from one of the panelists. We'll move on to the next caller, Elvira, I believe, EZ. If you can go ahead and unmute your microphone, please go ahead. Item number 5, you have 2 minutes to speak under this item.
Hi, good morning, and thank you. I'm a resident here in Canoga Park. I live on Remit, so we're only 1 street down from the Owensmouth Avenue and Sherman Way, where the farmers market is held on Saturdays. And we were very happy to see it come back, especially like the previous caller said, because of the pandemic. It makes it a lot easier for people to go down and purchase items and feel safer. Also, I like to see more programs and things happen in the community. It's very sad and lonely to see our streets empty and more businesses leaving because of lack of traffic, or just people just driving by, and have, you know, this whole downtown Canoga Park become another ghost town, and, you know, just vacant stores and shops and storefronts. So anytime there's anything like a farmer's market, Dia de los Muertos, St. Patrick's Day parade, whatever it is, as long as it's under control, organized properly, and people are not creating anything other than community, solidarity and coming together, I don't see why there's a movement to try to stop these things. I've been living here since 1991. I've also had a store on Sherman Way and Owensmouth. And speaking with other local business owners who I'm very close with, they all love it when we have events and when things happen and it brings people out. I don't understand as a business why you want to see it a ghost town and no one out in the streets supporting a local community. That to me makes absolutely no sense. So I am here to support anything that creates community, people coming out, friends, family, everything, anything, and put it away and just totally take it out and just have vacant streets and vacant lots. Just does not make any sense to me. So I'm just here to support the market. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elvira. We'll go ahead and move on to the last caller on the line, Sabina, Sabina. If you can unmute your microphone, you have 2 minutes to speak under item number 5. Please state your name and please go ahead.
Yes, my name is Sabina Gonzalez, and thank you for having me this morning. I've lived in Canoga Park since 1970, and I have a lifelong commitment to the community as a volunteer, as well as my family, my entire family. I'm here for keeping farmers market in Canoga Park, and we've had it for the last 15 years with, besides COVID, we had to close it down. So we haven't come back for a while, and I was one of the volunteers that helped organize the petition and signatures from the majority of the business owners on Owens Mouth. And I happened to run into Dr. Perry when I was walking around in the middle of the hot sun, summer sun, and she actually approached me and she intimidated me and she insulted me and told me to get off the street. And I was very kind to her, very respectful. And she was attempting to take away the petition signatures from me. And I had to walk away. And it saddened me to think that just one person, when Mary Patterson told me, one person was objecting. And the only reason why she would have gotten any signatures from any merchant, any business owner on Owens Mouth is from the people that are her tenants in her own building. And they looked at me like they were scared. They didn't want me to talk to them. They shooed me out. They didn't want to be seen with me. And that's very sad because the farmers market has been able to accommodate a lot of people that are not able to go to the market, seniors, young families, especially now with COVID. And they can get organic food and they can get food from farmers, farmer to table. And the detriment of taking away the farmers market afterwards become a Canoga Park tradition. It would really, it would affect the lifestyle of so many people that that are used to it and love to have it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabina. Thank you for joining us as well. Jolene, you have your hand raised. You are part of the applicants. Would you like to speak under public comment and not be part of the applicants?
Yes, I'm not part of the applicants. I was mistaken earlier.
Okay, no worries. Jolene, please go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
Hi, it's Joellen. Thank you very much for your time today. I'm the Community Relations and Executive Director of the Canoga Park West Hills Chamber of Commerce, which is actually located on Owens Mouth, diagonal to Dr. Perry's office. Actually, she's on the corner of Wyandotte and Owens Mouth. I'm on the opposite side of the street, one building over. The farmers market has been there for a very long time, and it brings a lot of great community people out. We recently just hosted a street fair with the farmers market involved, and we were able to hand out a bunch of backpacks. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about the petitions. In 2019, I was involved in walking around to my chamber members in that direct area to get signatures for the farmers market when the issue started to arise. A lot of them on Owens Mouth are current chamber member of mine, and they were in 2019. I had 2 of them that did not want to sign it, which is fine. And I had about 5 or 6 of them stop me and tell me that they didn't want to be in the middle of it, that Dr. Perry had come in there very passionate about it, intimidating them, and they didn't want to be in the middle of it anymore. It took me a good 15 or 20 minutes to explain to them how this process works, what it is about, and if it interferes with their business, if they don't want to see it, et cetera, et cetera. And even though they did sign my petition, I'm going to go ahead and say that the intimidation of my chamber members is not okay. These are community members that have their businesses. Half of them aren't even open on Saturday during the farmers market, and they were intimidated by something that doesn't even affect them. Now, I will tell you, the one person that I know that does not want it besides Dr. Perry is the Rainbow Bridge Place, and that's because they do cremations of animals, and it's hard for them when a pet dies to have stuff going on outside their building. That was the only legitimate complaint, and what ended up happening was Mary took that into account. They moved tents that were in front of her actual door over and the music over, so there was no longer a big celebration going on right in front of this business. And this year the lady came up to me and said it's fine. They had a family.
Please go ahead and wrap up.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that the Canoga Park Community Center and the Chamber of Commerce and the Historical Society are all in favor of this, and we love it in our community, and we're happy to be back in the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue Ellen.
Mr. President, that clears the queue for public comments on item number 5.
Okay. Mr. Is it Giannis or Manis?
It's pronounced Giannis, Demo Giannis.
I thought so, but I wanted to be clear and forgive me. So, Mr. Giannis, is there anything else you want to add, or does the applicant? Did you want the applicant to speak? And I'm inclined to give Dr. Perry one more shot.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that the documents that were submitted by Dr. Perry are, I think they're labeled as TR3 on the attachments. That's for reference. That's the signatures that were obtained by Dr. Perry. But no, I would like both the parties to, provide the information they have. We're neutral, but we're trying to see the best way we can go forward. We have all the documents we needed for the permit to be approved.
So I'll have Ms. Ross speak, and then I'll let Dr. Perry speak one more time. Each get 2 minutes, and then the comment will be done.
Mr. President, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, we also have Ms. Perry Patterson on the line. Ms. Patterson, if you can turn on your video cam so that we can add you to the spotlight. Ms. Patterson, if you can hear me. If you can please turn on your video.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Mr. President, both the applicants are on the line.
Okay. Anything you would like to say?
You want for me or Nora?
Either or both.
Okay, I'll just say a couple things, and then Nora, I'll let Nora do the talking. But I'm the president of the Neighborhood Council, and I manage the Business Improvement District as well. And we have been supporting continuing the farmers market that the CRA started after the Northridge earthquake, solely for the purpose of supporting the community. We try to combine community events with the market. COVID permitted, of course. We haven't been able to do that lately. We give free spaces for any business in our district to have a free space there to promote their business. It's all about revitalizing the community and supporting the community. I like Dr. Perry. I like that I've helped her out on issues she's had. I try very much to accommodate anything that she brought up as a concern, and I will continue to do so. We're just all here to try to help our little part of Los Angeles continue to thrive. All of the businesses have parking. Their parking is in the back of the building, not on the Owensmouth side. And every day I'm in the district because we clean the district and we provide security for the district, and we have very few cars even park on Owensmouth during any hours. So I don't believe it's an interruption as stated, and I hope that you'll support it. And of course, I want Dr. Perry and everyone to be happy.
Thank you, Ms. Patterson. Ms. Ross, anything you would like to add?
Just a little bit. I'm the president of Main Street Canoga Park, the organization that is responsible for the farmers market. And on top of the mission, yes, it brings community together. We like it. It's a good hub for events. People come, they come shopping. It's good for the community. People, it's a meeting point on Saturday mornings for buying fruit. Sometimes it's some of the freshest produce some people get all week. All these are good advantages. Over the years, we're working with Dr. Perry. And the community, when any complaint has come up, the market has immediately acted upon it to correct it and move forward. In 99% of the instances, everything moves on. There's just this one particular individual who feels no matter what is done, nothing will satisfy her short of shutting down the event. When you look at it, if 99% people are happy and 1% does not, you kind of realize that something else is going on and there's a hidden agenda that this person wants to represent because something must be bothering her. As you can see from the permits, they're all in alignment. They have the signatures. They've been verified. And we just look to the board to approve the farmers market because it is a benefit. It brings people to the community. It's a great hub point for some of the events that we do that were mentioned, Dia de los Muertos, St. Patrick's Day Parade, health festivals with other organizations. It just is a great place for people to meet on Saturday mornings and get a number of services provided. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ross, very much. All right, Dr. Perry, I'm going to give you, because you are essentially representing the other side as a party in interest, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, but I'm going to be really clear. I don't want to hear about, we don't need to hear about the process to talk with council offices or other offices. We want to hear why you believe this shouldn't happen, and please stick to the actual merits of the item. You're muted right now. You're muted, Dr. Perry, although you see the list. You're on mute.
Do you hear me?
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, I sent all petition, and including with the color-coded list of people that signed for us. We are 74% in majority of all occupants, including all the offices and retail. And 12 out of together total of 73 businesses within the closure. 73. 11 of them are vacant. I mean, 15 out of 73 of total businesses and all the retail and offices. 15 of them no vote because it was vacant, and 11 out of 73 they are staying neutral, and they didn't want to vote for anyone, neither party, because some of them are having official position. They are board member of neighborhood board of neighborhood, and 12 out of 73, 12 of them they approve this street closure, and 35 out of 73 they disapprove a street closure. So we are in total 74.46 in majority. People think that they are bothering the businesses. The business in this closure, they are very, very small business. The size of all offices, all of them, practically all of them, are 300 to 500 square feet, not more than that. And barely one desk can fit in their office. So they are struggling to get, to earn some money, to bring some bread on their table, and not working on Saturday, it means a lot for them. They want to work on Saturday, but the noise, the mess, is bothering them. One of them told me that I have a car part, I have to deliver that to the shop. When I come back, my parking spot was taken. And the dental lab told me that, okay, I want to go and get the work from the dentist. Coming back to my lab, I see there is no more parking. They are using our parking, they are using the restrooms. All the adjacent properties, parking lot, they put a sign for no parking for farmers market. And that I appreciate that. but it doesn't mean anything unless it would be protected by a guard. To prevent people to enter to the parking lot. But the most important thing, they did not put any sign anywhere saying that here is a parking for farmers market. So where they supposed to park, they cannot swallow their vehicle. Their vendor, their visitor, they are parking in our parking lot. They are interfering with our normal work, normal job, and most importantly, just adjacent to within the closure, it is homeowners, single family homes. And after that, there is hundreds of apartment condo that they are struggling to go to their home. They said we go back and forth to our house.
Speaker, President Good would like to address you, Speaker.
And besides,
Speaker,
Dr. Campos,
Speaker, you need to stop talking.
Dr. Campos, thank you. I'm sorry, Dr. Perry, we've tried to get your attention. In the interest of fairness, there are limitations. I've given you 2 opportunities to speak on the item, 2, which was not required by any stretch of the imagination. So I always ask that the public, when joining meetings, respect this board and respect the rules. So we're trying to get your attention. I need you to give it. All right, colleagues, I feel like we've heard a lot. Let's open it up for any questions. I'll start with you, Commissioner Closa.
Thank you, President Good. I actually don't have too many questions for this. I feel like we heard a lot of comment, and I understand that it's always a balance when we are going into neighborhoods to provide more resources and opportunities for everyone's benefit, especially when it comes to providing more access to more nutritious food, better programming, and that it's a temporary emphasis on the temporary part of the programming, and the benefit for me in this case is immense for what a farmer's market brings to the community. We know that farmers have been impacted during COVID-19. Small businesses have been impacted by COVID-19. And, I guess really what I ask here, and I hope, and I know it's tough. I know it sounds like there's been a lot of community meetings where you've tried to work out some of the challenges and differences, but that you all remain committed to working with each other and being good neighbors to one another. But I am actually in support of approving this permit for the farmers market, but I don't have any questions from the applicant or from Streets LA. So thank you, President Good.
Thank you, Commissioner Coloso. President Pro Tem Davis?
Do we have any opinion from the council district office as it relates to this particular issue?
We have. This is Demo Street Services. I reached out to Jenny Portillo, which is a representative of the council office, and I've asked them to opine before moving forward, and they are in support of the farmers market as well. I've also reached out to them before allowing the market to continue while we wait for this hearing, and they were also in support for that. From what I've heard, they are in support.
Okay, so Councilman is in support of the farmers market staying in its current location, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Let me ask the Chamber of Commerce, was there someone from the Chambers of Commerce who testified in this matter?
Yes, that's me, Joellen.
Okay, now what I have heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that on one hand, we know the public benefit of the farmers market. On the other hand, there seems to have been a series of small businesses who are impacted as well. What is the position of the chamber on that issue?
So the businesses that are impacted, which was the one I used as the Rainbow Bridge dog place, their provisions were made by the farmers market to take their fear and concerns away. The dentist office is closed. Red Lipstick is closed. The office, my building, and the 2 other tenants in my building are closed. And the bathrooms that they use for the farmers market are actually in the community center, which is attached to my building. The tattoo place on the far end on the right-hand side, almost towards the end of the farmers market, he's not affected because his are appointments only, and they do have back parking. So even though his front street is closed off, his guests come in the back and they do appointments on Saturdays. The only business that had a problem was the dog people, and they took care of that. And then Dr. Perry. Now, Dr. Perry's office is actually there's a few open ones in her building. And CDI next door to me is closed on Saturday and Sunday. The hairdressing place, Christine, across the street, loves the farmers market. The houses, they all love it. They do. My chamber members and my little businesses there, it doesn't bother them. They don't mind.
So there is not an issue where some of those particular small businesses discussed have some problems in terms of accommodating parking during the hours in which both operations are taking place, i.e., the small businesses that happen to be open on Saturday that have been mentioned, as well as we know that people have to participate and patronize the farmers market at the same time. Are you aware of some of the issues that were raised as it relates to that?
I am. I was aware of it in 2019 because this has been an ongoing battle. In 2019, I surveyed it myself because taking a neutral position because I wanted to see what was going on with the businesses and the parking. Sure. And I noticed that none of the farmers market, the people that come here usually walk from the apartments and the houses. If they do drive, they park in the back lot by Henry's over on Remit, which is a public parking spot, or they park across Sherman Way, which is another public, LA City public parking lot. The businesses we all have our own parking behind, and there's alley access on both sides. But 9 out of the 10 of the people that visit the farmers market walk from down Owens Mouth. They park on the Wyandotte. So the businesses parking aren't being taken up by the Canoga Park community, by the people visiting the farmers market. Sorry, I lost the word there.
Mm-hmm. Yanis, I wanted to ask you in terms of signage for the farmers market operation. Do you see a need, or do we examine the request for signage for projects such as this when we go out to do a review?
So we do multiple events on Owens Mouth. The Memorial Day Parade is one of them. Dia de los Muertos is another one. We do Third Thursdays. There's a lot of events that we do, and we do put signs up. As a matter of fact, in my office, I have stacks of no parking on Thursday signs, no parking on Monday signs. The signs are put up and utilized. They're either utilized by us, the applicant, or the city. For the parade, for instance, the city will come and do it for me because it's the First Amendment thing, so Bureau of Street Services takes care of it. But for the other small events we do, we put up the signs and we have them. Same as the no parking sign. Same as the bathroom. She brought bathrooms. The community center is open. The farmers market, and the guests, they use the community center bathrooms for themselves.
Okay, Yanis, I wanted to ask you, sir, as it relates to signage, do we have a requirement when we do a review for a project like this that would include our examination of the appropriate signage as it relates to operating such projects in the area? Is that a part of our review?
One of the requirements is twofold. One is the petition signature, which is a notification process that advises the local community of the upcoming closure. So that's one stage. The other is we mandate temporary no parking signs to be posted. DOT has a separate section that puts those signs a minimum of 72 hours prior. So there's an ongoing notification every week when the signs are posted. But as far as the length of the duration of farmers market, generally it's done when the application is submitted initially with the petition.
So I just wanted to make sure that we do everything we can to accommodate those other small businesses that are in the area as the farmers market proceeds. that if there's anything that we can do in our regulatory review that will help to accommodate them as well in terms of parking, or I would hope that, Joe Ellen, that we would continue to work with those small businesses in the area, in fact, to double check to see what kind of an agreement can take place where parking can be available if in fact it's a case where they raise the issue. And I'm sure that neighborhood groups communicate with each other. That would be my hope that we do that. Yes, Mr. Yanis.
Just wanted to bring your attention. There's an attachment there. You're talking about accommodations. There's an attachment labeled TR5 in connection with this hearing. And it just basically has pictures of barricades and water barriers surrounding Dr. Perry's business because she wanted to have her businesses unaffected. So there are some accommodations that are being done by the farmers market, but we will continue to look for more or other ways of accommodating the general businesses there.
And I concur with that. I will stay in touch with all of my chamber members on that street and businesses that aren't even part of my chamber, like the cleaners. He's not a chamber member, but I still work with them on a daily basis or weekly basis to help. And anytime they have a concern, I go directly to Mary Patterson and or Nora to discuss the concern of the business, and then they figure out a solution that I've never been told deal with it. I've always been told, let's figure it out, and then the businesses are happy.
Wonderful. That's great. And that's the kind of thing that reflects the spirit of what we like to see happen. So thank you very much for answering my questions.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Thanks for your time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. President.
President Pro Tem Davis. Vice President Garcia.
Thank you, President Good, and good morning to everyone. I don't have much questions either. I have a very basic question, and I was trying to find it through the reports. How long has this farmers market been going on? Or is this the first time?
It's been about 15 years or so.
So in 15 years, this farmer market has operated Saturday mornings in this same...
Excuse me one second. No, actually, it began in 2013. It was part of the Canoga Park Centennial Celebration. We brought it into the community, and it's been going on continuously since then. It's just in recent years that we've had this objection from Dr. Perry, and that every objection she's made, we've addressed it, we've looked into it, we've tried to solve it, and then another one will come up. Everything is just another step further into making it so that we don't have it.
Thank you, Ms. Ross, for your answer. I appreciate that. If it's from 2013, then it seems that this farmers market has been in place for 8 years now, right? Mr. Yanis?
Yes, it is, yes.
And
That's
throughout
been longer, the CRA and
Ms. Patterson, hang on. Mr. Yanis, and for 8 years, this farmers market has operated without any issues. Is that correct?
That's correct, except for the minor mentions right now. But normally those comments have not made it to our office until this year.
Okay, so for 8 years, we hadn't had any official complaint until now. And is there a reason why now we have an official complaint?
That question would be more likely directed to Dr. Perry.
There's nothing, got it. Okay. A very short, quick answer. Is it because it is now impacting, what I hear from you, Ms. Perry, what I heard from you was that it's impacting the entrances to the small businesses that have been impacted through the COVID time, right?
Can I talk?
A very short answer, Ms. Perry.
Yes, it is not only, the street closure is not only for farmers market. They are getting grant after grant after grant to get some money from different sources to close the street for profiting and making problem for our occupants.
Okay,
you see, they are no. You please take a look at the street. They are closing the street for art, for music, for this, for that.
Okay. Thank you, Ms.
The street. They think the street is their.
Thank you. I believe those are part of farmers market activities. I know I've participated in many farmers market, and that's sometimes part of the activities that happen. Other than this situation, we've never had another type of official complaint, to your knowledge, right, Mr. Yanis?
That is correct. No.
Those were all my really questions. I just wanted to put that into context. The farmers market is a great resource for the community. I'm in support of it too as well. And when the time comes, I'll vote in support for this as well. But I'm really happy that Canoga Park has a farmers market, to be honest. And I hope that the farmers market world will come back to more communities, because during COVID it kind of just dwindled down and a lot of folks are not getting their fresh food and fresh vegetables. But that's a different story. But for this situation, thank you, Mr. Yanis, for your report, and everybody else that's here on behalf of this item, including Dr. Perry and everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Villegas.
Hi, good morning. I'll be quick. Thank you, everyone, for participating in today's meeting. And, I heard a lot, and I understand that just looking through the petition, it seemed like, we had accommodations being made and, some negotiation here happening. Something basic just with negotiation is we just have to separate the people from the problem, right? Just not get too much emotion into this, and really try to come up with recommendations and solutions that are going to be best to suit everyone. Just through the pictures, I see that Dr. Perry has been accommodated. Thank you also for letting us know that some of the other businesses are also in support. I did see the petition. I appreciate that, just being a part of the file. And I don't know if all of the actual people who, said that they disapprove are accurate, because it just seems from the testimony from the folks that have been sharing today, have been saying that some of the businesses that are listed as disapprove are actually approving. So I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but I feel that when we're in a good faith negotiation, it's not about winning, it's about coming to terms and agreeing to sometimes agree to disagree, but also just to come up with some concessions for everyone. And I feel that that has been accommodated, and I'm sorry that Ms. Perry does feel that she is not being accommodated, which it certainly shows that it is. The fact that the street may be closed for other events, that's part about being a community. We have that a lot all over Los Angeles. And, I'm not going to speak to those because I don't have the facts, but that's a separate issue. Today at hand is just just the farmers market issue. So I'm prepared to take a vote on this, and I can move the item.
Give me 1 second. Ms. Portillo from CD3. Thank you, Commissioner Closa. Ms. Portillo from CD3, I believe, is here. Ms. Portillo, do you have anything you want to add? And don't feel obligated if you're good.
Hello, good morning. Can everyone hear me?
We can hear you. We can't see you.
Oh, I do not have the link, but it's fine. Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Hi.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. Jenny Portillo, Councilmember Blumenfield's Deputy District Director. I just wanted to say the council office has a great working relationship with the applicants of the farmers market. We have met with Dr. Perry and try to bring in and address her concerns and make her concerns relay that over to the farmers market. I was actually out at the farmers market last, I want to say the beginning of August. They did have closures that did not impact the business. They did have accommodating restrooms, as Ms. Joellen mentioned, inside the chamber. There are 2 city parking lots, a street over on the east and west side. So they're on Owens Mouth to the east. There is a parking lot, the city parking lot, and then over to the west of Owens Mouth, there's another city parking lot. There is adequate parking. Also south of Sherman Way, maybe a 2-minute walk, there's other parking available. So I don't feel that parking is a big issue in that community. I feel that it does serve a great purpose and need for the community, and we in our years of being in the council office since 2013, Dr. Perry has been the only person who has brought this up, I believe in 2019. From there on, we have not heard of anyone else having any big issues with the farmers market.
Thank you, Ms. Portillo, for joining us. I appreciate that very much, and the feedback's great.
Thank you, Commissioners, for your time.
Thank you. I have no questions, Mr. Yanis. Commissioner Villegas, did you have a motion?
I did. Yes.
To approve?
Yes.
Okay. I will second that motion. Do I have any concerns or objections, Garcia, Coloso, or Davis?
None for me.
All right, hearing none, the item is adopted and approved forthwith. Thank you all for being with us, and have a great day. Okay. Brings us to item, we're going to go back to item number 2. Item number 2 is a budget increase in change order numbers 34 and 36, Green Building Corporation Capital Improvement Program 4178, Los Angeles Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Dechlorination Chamber Improvements, Capital Improvement Program 4179, Los Angeles Glendale Water Reclamation Plant, Sodium Bisulfate Facility, Capital Improvement Program 4189, Los Angeles Glendale Water Reclamation Plant Cover Plates and Grading Replacement. Recommending the board authorize and approve $79,000 in additional contingency and a revised construction budget of $4,475,313 for the total contract. I see Mr. Ruiz is with us, as well as Mr. Shaw, who is going to be presenting on this item.
Nadir Shah, Bureau of Engineering, Environmental Engineering Division. On May 29, 2019, the board awarded a contract to Green Building Corporation to construct Capital Improvement Project 4178, Dechlorination Chamber Improvements, CIP 4179 Sodium Bisulfate Facility, and CIP 4189 Plant Cover Plates and Grating Replacement in the amount of $4,186,965, with contingency of $209,348 at Los Angeles Glendale Water Reclamation Plant. The construction work under CIP 4178 is 91% complete, and on CIP 4179 it is 92%. The construction work under CIP 4189 is 100% complete. During the startup and testing of a sampling station for CIP 4178, it was discovered that one of the solenoid valves did not operate properly. To address this scope of work, change order number 34 with the cost of $30,000 needs to be issued. Change order number 26, which was issued earlier on this project, resulted in additional scope of work of installing additional hardware and programming for DCS firewall and Modbus, and accounted for delays due to the city and the extension of contract duration by 123 days. Change order number 36 with the total cost of $71,000 needs to be issued to compensate the contractor for daily field overhead costs. The total not to exceed cost of change order number 34 and 36 is $101,000. To date, 33 change orders has been executed for CIP 4178. The remaining contingency is $22,000. After exhausting this contingency, the outstanding balance to pay for change orders number 34 and 36 will be $79,000. On July 14, 2021, the Program Review Committee approved the revised construction budget of $4,475,313. The recommendation to the board is to authorize $79,000 in additional contingency and approve a revised construction budget of $4,475,313 for the total contract.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Colleagues, do we have questions? Let me give the floor to Vice President Garcia.
Thank you, President Good. Good morning, Mike and Mr. Shaw. I don't have any questions on this report. Good to see you both.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Commissioner Villegas?
Thank you. I don't have any questions either. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. President Pro Tem Davis?
Yeah, Mr. Shaw, I just wanted some clarification. Please excuse me for not hearing the details. In terms of both 34 and 36, in those change orders, you said that the reason for 34 really was because of the work that on the city side of the table we had done that caused the delay. Is that correct?
No, it would be change order number 36. For change order number 34 was due to the non-functioning solenoid valve. So that was a separate one. So
I see.
Yes.
But obviously, in terms of 34, no prediction or way in which the contractor could have known of the failure of functioning for that walls, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So that then, as we look at overall these change orders, in both instances, the prime contractor had absolutely no control over those circumstances, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Commissioner Colosa?
Thank you, President Good. I don't have any questions for Mr. Shaw. He briefed me on this item, so thanks for your work on this, and I like your new BOE background there.
Thank you, President.
Yeah, I have no questions. Thanks for the presentation, Mr. Shaw. Thank you, Mr. Ruiz, for showing up with us today, and I'll take a motion to approve the item.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Colosa, for your motion. Thank you for your second, President Pro Tem Davis. Any concerns, Garcia or Villegas? All right, hearing none, the item is adopted forthwith. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us, and have great days. Okay. That brings us to item number 3. Item number 3 is a relinquishment of rights in Future Alley Lot 9, Tract 12575, 5913 North Colfax Avenue, recommending the board, 1, execute the attached document relinquishing any and all rights to the City of Los Angeles for public alley purposes within the future alley shown on the attached Exhibit A, subject to the following condition. Petitioner shall make satisfactory arrangements with the Real Estate Division of the Bureau of Engineering, 1149 South Broadway, 6th floor, Los Angeles, California, 90015, with respect to payment and document recording fees. And 2, instruct the Real Estate Division of the Bureau of Engineering to record the executed document in the Office of the County Recorder when the condition and recommendation number 1 has been satisfied. I see Mr. Mockelburst with us. Good morning, sir.
This is Bert Mockelburst with the Bureau of Engineering's Permit Case Management Division. As you mentioned, the ask in front of you is for the board to execute a document that releases all rights for alley purposes in the future alley at this particular property, 5913 Colfax Avenue. That future alley was set aside under track map 12575, which recorded on April 4th, 1941. As part of that, there was no acceptance of the future alley as part of the map. The lot was sold to third parties, and that future alley has never been used for public purposes. We reached out to Council District 2. They've been notified, and they have no objections to the relinquishment of this future alley. So we ask that you execute the document releasing that particular reservation.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, President Pro Tem Davis?
Now, we're releasing the alley to where? I'm trying to get this item up. I'm having a computer problem here. Mr. Markowitz, who are we releasing the alley to?
Okay, so Lot 9 has a future alley reserved over the back of the property. Okay, so we would be taking that layer of the future alley off, and it would be basically control is still with that same property, Lot 9.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Vice President Garcia?
Thank you, President Good. I don't have any questions, actually. I know we've been doing this more than before, more recently, as we see Mr. Markovus here in presentations. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Commissioner Villegas?
Yeah, I don't have any questions either. Thank you. It was very clear.
Thank you. And then Commissioner Closa?
Thank you, President Good. I don't have any questions for Mr. Mucklebust. I think he did a great job explaining the project, and I'm sure this property owner will be really pleased. So, thank you.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Commissioner. I have no questions. Pretty clear, and yeah, I suspect the property owner will be happy. So, I'll motion to approve the item. Do I have a second?
Second.
President Pro Tem Davis, any concerns, Garcia, Villegas, or Closa? All right, hearing none, the item is adopted forthwith. Thank you very much, Mr. Markleburst. Mr. Markleburst, have a great day.
You as well.
All right, that brings us to item number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Revised construction orders and change orders. Matthew and Stewart Company, Inc., Super Expedited Wastewater Emergency Rehabilitation for Sewers Program, Scotland Street Alley Project. Recommending the board, 1, authorize a construction budget of $226,000, including contingency for the Super Expedited Wastewater Emergency Rehabilitation for the Sewers Program, Scotland Street Alley 3100 project, and 2, authorize the city engineer to issue revised construction orders and change orders up to the authorized construction budget for this project. See, Mr. Wang is with us today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, President Good. Good morning, Commissioners. This is George Huang from the Wastewater Conveyance Construction Division. The item before you today is a Sewer 6 project. It's one of the contracts that has 3 contractors, Matthew and Stewart, M&R, and Tomovich and Associates. The current contract had a ceiling increase from $30 million to $43 million recently on October 14, 2020. And it's part of the expedited repairs of damaged sewer facilities, which are necessary for uninterrupted service and protection of public safety and private property. So this contract, the way the work is issued is that these contractors have a series of are issued through construction orders. The construction orders have city engineer has selected the lowest quantity takeoff and has a construction order authority of 150 per project. So the project is the Scotland Street Alley. There's an existing 8-inch vitrified clay pipe sewer that runs along the alley sewer easement, and it's 8 feet deep, 225 linear feet long, and was constructed in 1927. So the contract was actually awarded to Masco, or Matthew and Stewart, which is the lowest bidder at $61,174. And the contractor completed 13 linear foot of the proposed sewer work, replacement work. There was 57 of the linear feet of the spot repairs which could not be performed due to the existing natural vegetation, and there was a concrete retaining wall that was running along the sewer alignment. So as a result of that, we had to stop the work, and we instead went with a trenchless method, which is the pipe bursting method, which is the way that works is we take the existing sewer pipe and we and we burst it out and force it outwards, and then that machine creates a new pipe as it's being pulled behind. This method helped reduce the impacts above the surface inside, and kept the impacts minimal in the properties that run along this alley. So the lump sum for this cost, the pipe bursting, and as a result we had to reconnect 2 laterals as well, and that was estimated at $226,000, including the contingency. So therefore, we're here at the board today to request approval of that construction budget, which exceeded the $150,000 City Engineer Authority, and then also to issue the revised construction order to continue the work for a budget of $226,000. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wong. Dr. Davis, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, no questions for me. I think you've explained the reasons for the request. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Villegas?
Thank you. I don't have any questions either.
Thank you. Vice President Garcia?
No questions from me either. Thank you.
And then Commissioner Closa.
Thank you, President Good. I don't have any questions for Mr. Wang. I think he did a great job explaining the item, and thanks for your work on the sewers program.
Ditto. One question I do have, Mr. Wong, and it's a very hypothetical, but I'm just curious. Why don't we do the pipe bursting method more often if it's more cost effective and less sort of disruptive? I know there's a very good engineering reason not to, but I'm just curious.
Certainly. The pipe bursting method requires a pit on both ends. So you have a receiving pit and an insertion pit. And that area also requires room for the machine to actually install the pipe in the machine in order to do the pipe bursting. Oftentimes that takes up a lot of also excavation inside the property as well. So if it was just some spot repairs that we could do, we generally will just go with the open trench method. And for each one we do the pipe bursting, we also have to get a quote. It's not part of the sewers fixed bid item cost. So we try to do the fixed bid items first before having to go through the lump sum, get a cost proposal, just because of the expedited nature of the program.
I was completely confident that you'd give a great answer, and that makes a lot of sense. So it's really sort of like a perfect scenario where it's either sort of the perfect scenario and literally landscape or not. And where it is, it's a good solution.
Yes, certainly.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Wong. And appreciate the report or presentation. Do I have a motion to approve?
So I'll second.
Also with a second from President Pro Tem Davis. Villegas, Garcia, any concerns? All right, hearing none, the item is adopted forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Wong. Have a great day.
Great, thank you. Have a great day.
All right, let's now go to item 6. Item 6 is a personal services contract, Inflection Point Solutions, LLC. Software maintenance and enhancement support. Recommending the board, 1, execute a sole source contract with Inflection Point Solutions, LLC, and forward this report with the transmittals to the mayor and the city council, and 2, authorize the president or 2 members of the board to execute the agreement upon the mayor and city council's authorization. Looks like Mr. Cito is with us today on the item. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. President, Commissioners, City Attorney, Executive Officer. So we're here to ask for the execution of a sole source personal services contract with Inflection Point Services to provide software maintenance and enhancements support for several LA sanitation systems. Those systems are actually critical for our pre-treatment programs as well as our watershed protection programs. And also one of the systems also includes performing legal reporting. The contract that we're asking to enter into would have a period of 6 years with a not to exceed cost of $9,524,230, with a optional 2-year with 2 optional 3-year extensions, which would raise the not to exceed amount to $13,024,230. The advantages of the benefits of entering into this contract, right? It's a sole source contract because all these softwares were actually authored and written by IPS themselves, and they retain the necessary staff and expertise to provide the software maintenance and provide the services that are needed to maintain these systems. They also have had a history with us, in knowing our business processes. This agreement would be estimated to save about $890,000 over the course of in support and maintenance, annual support and maintenance services during the 6 years. The support and maintenance fees will be fixed over this 6-year period, so they wouldn't increase for the specific softwares. And we would also get a 15% reduction in fixed billing rates for services. As well as we would get some additional regularly supported teleconference calls and prioritization of support decision. Of that $9,524,000, $657,000 is actually discretionary funds. Sorry about that. So not all the funds would be expended. Only the annual maintenance is needed per year. If a software is not used or we discontinue usage of that software, we could stop the actual payment of the annual support for that period of time as well. So we're not locked in to do that, to pay during the entire period. That ends my report.
Thank you, sir. Clarify again. So if we stop using that software, or that software is rendered obsolete by new technology, et cetera, we're not obligated to continuing the contract. We have an out.
Yeah. So every software has its own annual software maintenance portion in this amount here. So yes, for that portion of so if we stop all software, then we can stop all payments. If we stop one of the softwares, the amount related to that annual maintenance for that software, we would not need to pay anymore. That's correct.
Very helpful. Thank you. Vice President Garcia, any questions?
No questions from me. Thank you very much, Mr. Seto.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. President Pro Tem Davis?
No questions from me.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Closa?
I don't think I have any questions. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through what your presentation was and some of the items in the board report. You noted here in the board report that there's some cost savings associated. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by that?
Yes. So during the course of the 6-year period, so as I mentioned, if we enter into this contract, the annual maintenance and support would be fixed. So they're giving us a discount. If we didn't do this, it's expected that over the course of time, as during the 6-year period, some of the maintenance would increase as over that 6-year period instead of being fixed rate, fixed cost per year. So if you look at the so So some of these softwares will increase in software maintenance because one, there's additional support needed as legacy systems get older. So it's expected that some of those costs would increase. But when we enter into this contract, they're going to fix those costs. So we wouldn't get that increase per year for about 6 years.
So that's how you did the $890,000 of cost savings?
Yes.
Okay. And you're happy with the software?
Yeah. Yes. We're utilizing it, and we've been utilizing it for several years. Yes.
Okay. I don't think I have any more questions at this time. You provided an insane amount of detail in your tables, which is why I was reconciling what to ask you for a software service. That's why I was pausing. But I don't think I have any additional questions for you at this time, Mr. Cito.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Coloso. Commissioner Vegas?
Thank you. I don't have any questions either. I was just going through the board letter as well. It is very detailed. And thank you for your report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Jordan, just for the public and for the record, is the City Attorney's Office comfortable with the sole source justification here?
Yes, we are. That's very appropriate in matters such as this.
Okay. Hearing that, I'm comfortable as well. This makes a lot of sense, and this is an exceedingly thorough report. Appreciate that, Mr. Cito. I will motion to approve the item. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Coloso, Villegas, Garcia, any concerns or objections? All right, hearing none, the item is adopted and approved forthwith. Thank you very much, Mr. Cito. Good luck with the contract and the work. And have a good day. Thank you. All right, let's move on to item number 7. Item number 7 is a contract renewal, landscape maintenance of median islands, recommending the board, 1, exercise the city's first and second year option to renew the subject contract with International Environmental Corporation, IEC, for $677,424.02 and $677,424.02 respectively. Instruct the executive officer of the board to immediately advise IEC to submit their bonds and insurance documents within 5 working days after the date of notification of award of this contract by the board. And 3, instruct the executive officer of the board to immediately advise IEC that work on this project must start within 5 working days from the date of issuance of the notice to proceed. And Mr. Benuelos is with us here on the item. Good morning, Mr. Benuelos.
Yes, good morning, President Good, Commissioners. My name is Hector Benuelos. I'm with Suites LA Urban Forestry Division. What we have before us is a request for the board to allow the city to exercise a first and second year option of annual contract with International Environmental Corporation to perform landscape maintenance of the median islands in the West Valley area. Give you a little background. The city, or Suites LA, currently oversees all landscape maintenance is performed by contract, as we have no city staff to do the work. There's approximately 10.5 million square feet of improved landscape medians throughout the city, and this is one of 4 contracts that will be coming before the board. On this contract here, this is an annual contract with the city's option to renew for 2 additional years, and so we're asking that the board allow the Suites LA to renew for option years 1 and 2. If approved, this contract will provide the maintenance of approximately 2.6 million square feet of landscape medians for 2 additional years. The International Environmental Corporation, or IEC, have been performing the work at an acceptable level. I'd say they're above average of the quality work being performed. They're very good, very responsive company, and we're pleased with them. When this contract was initially awarded last year, it was for an amount of $677,424.02 for the first year. It's the same amount for the years 1 and option years 1 and 2. And this came in actually less than our estimated cost here for the contracts, which is kind of good, which is pretty good, I say, as far as cost savings go. The bid was advertised with the mandatory subcontracting minimum of 4%. The contractor pledged 12% participation with the other business enterprise, the OBE. And achieved, and this year they achieved a little bit beyond that. They got 13.77 participation for the first year of this contract. The Office of Contract Compliance reviewed all the documents submitted by the contractor, determined that there was compliance with all business improvement program outreach and the mandatory subcontracting minimum requirement. There were two notice to proceed issued on this particular contract due to the mayor's belt tightening measures and the funding that was kind of came into question in the beginning of the fiscal year, which was kind of crazy. But we got through that, and now we're ready to. It looks like funding is available to allow the contract to be funded for the next 2 years. So we're asking that the board allow Streets Lake to exercise the city's first and second year options so that the landscape maintenance in the West Valley areas can continue to be performed. So that concludes my presentation. I'm here to answer any questions that the board or the public may have.
Thank you, Mr. Benuelos. President Pro Tem Davis.
Yeah, no questions, just glad to hear that we are satisfied with their performance.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. Commissioner Colosa.
Thank you, President Good. Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Benuelos. I'm curious, why is Streets LA, if you can explain, or are we exercising both the first and the second year renewal at the same time? My understanding is that these are not meant to be renewed at the same time, right? It's you renew it 1 year at a time. That was the intent.
Well, yes. I mean, it's almost like a probationary employee, right? We want to try them out for the first year, and so on this particular contractor, they've been performing work satisfactorily, and we're pleased with the work, and we want to see if the board will allow us to do 2 years. Yeah, normally and usually we usually come back with year by year, but in this case, because so much work to do all this contract, all the board approvals and so forth, we're trying to just kind of streamline it, if you will, and asking that the board allows to do the year 1 and year 2 options, as we're confident that the contractor will continue to perform well on this contract.
I mean, I guess it's a question of, you all wrote the RFP, right? So you guys are the ones who wrote it in as 2 1-year renewals.
Yes.
Structured it this way for a reason.
Yes, and that's to give the city an opportunity in case the contractor was not performing well, we can then elect to rebid the contracts.
Okay. Maybe that's a clarifying question I have for Mr. Jordan. Is this something that we've done before in the past? Do you know? Just want to understand, since the request is to exercise both renewals at the same time.
Well, I believe it would be within your discretion to do that. It would. I can only recall one instance where I think we did this. Exercise not 2 options at once, but we exercised an option well ahead of when we would normally have exercised it. I believe we did that in our bus bench contract. There could be certain advantages in allowing a contractor in that situation to have a longer time horizon ahead of them, when they're engaged in, selling advertising. They can make longer deals, which are to the benefit of the city. In this case, I would point out that, while the contractor seems to be doing a very good job here, knowing that we have an option ahead of us, I don't want to say that that's the reason why they've been performing well. You exercise the first option, and the contractor will know that there's another option out ahead of them. And whether that's what motivates them to perform well, or they're just a good contractor. But you decide. So the bottom line is, I believe you have the discretion to do that. I've not seen it done like that before. It doesn't mean it hasn't been. I believe you could if you wanted to. I don't really express any opinion on it.
Okay. I was trying to understand process and background, if it was a common thing that...
It absolutely is not common.
Okay.
I can say with great certainty.
Okay. Let me hold on any additional questions I have. I would love to hear from my other commissioners, specifically Commissioner Villegas, who's your liaison. If she has any specific thoughts on this. I mean, I am fine in this instance. You know, I understand it's just an additional year and you have a lot of work, but do agree with Ted's point about, you know, if that will actually help facilitate and encourage the contractor, knowing that the second year is not guaranteed, right? So to exercise it right now might mean that you're kind of giving all your carrots away, Mr. Benuelos. But look forward to hearing what my other colleagues say.
I'd like to comment on that. I think that's an excellent point that you have made, Commissioner Calosa, and that we have also the discretion to approve the 1 year and ask the department or the Bureau to come back to us for the next year.
Which is, I think, what it sounds like typically do. But yeah.
We can certainly do that.
I'd like to hear from Vice President Garcia.
Thank you, President Good. I don't really have, I was briefed yesterday and I asked my questions, and one of my big questions to, you know, one of the conversations we had during our briefing, Hector, was the renewal of the contracts and how long it took this past time because of the COVID policies that we had. And so what I gathered from you, Hector, was that for the next, it was just better to do this so that we don't have any gap in lack of services. That was my understanding for going for the 2-year renewal type of contract. That's all. I don't have any questions. I'm fine with this. I'm happy that medians are going to get serviced. A lot of them need it, and I'm just excited that we're going to get to work on this. I hope that cleared the stuff out.
Thanks, Vice President Garcia. Yeah, no, absolutely. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you. And that was my understanding as well. But Hector, if you can just shed a little bit more light or give a little bit more, you know, perspective in terms of timing, if this was, you know, how much this was delayed, and, you know, just the sequence of the distribution of funds, and then if indeed we did have lack of service.
If you remember last year, this contract was presented for the board and got approval in May of last year, 2020. Due to the belt tightening measures, we weren't able to have the contract start until October. And where that previous contract, before this contract, was due to expire on June 30th. So that left a lapse from there was no maintenance being done between the months of August and September, all through the beginning of October. And so when they're servicing these medians once every 2 weeks, you can imagine what that length could be. I mean, it's going to turn like a 3-month time frame between servicings. And so the medians are so easily taken for granted until you stop maintaining them. And so that break in service really created a lot of complaints, a lot of areas that look neglected otherwise would be in nice neighborhoods. So we feel that the Bureau feels that allowing the 2 years will minimize any potential for lapses in service. And so any delays from our staff as well, they can focus on other duties within Streets LA. We feel it's best maybe to approach this way as 2 years as opposed to just every year coming to the board.
Thank you for that. And so this contractor didn't get started until October of last year.
That is correct.
Yeah, I remember, and I know that we had a lot of complaints, and that our own staff had to go out there and do, the cleaning of these medians.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're coming back to us a year later after it's been renewed, and you're wanting to, you like the work that they've done, and then two, you want to fulfill both back to back so that there is no interruption in the service for this area in the future for unforeseeable snag.
Yes, at least from here to 2 years out from now. That's correct.
Okay. All right, and so it's just a matter of us either feeling comfortable or not, or just following the rules. It's not necessarily about being comfortable. It's just following the rules of what you all wrote in your RFP to say, 1 year and then 2-year renewals for each year after that. But you're all proposing, Streets LA is proposing just a whole lump sum at once. And it's a matter of us making that decision or not making that decision and just going for 1 year at a time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, and let me ask you this, just so we have, parity and just so we're all comfortable, how would Streets LA feel if we just approved 1 year?
Well, it's the board's decision. I mean, we'll adapt, right? And so we have no, I guess I personally don't have any problem with that. Would it be 1 year? We'd like to see it 2 years, but if it's just 1 year, it's just 1 year. We'll be back, I guess, next year and present it to the amendment.
Okay. So why don't we just propose then, just to go forward with 1 year, just to stay in place.
Consistent.
With what was recorded in the RFP. And, we can, yet again, have another evaluation of this vendor. And then you can come back to us for the last renewal.
I second that motion.
Okay, it's a motion.
I second it.
I think you're on mute.
Oh, wait a minute.
Right.
I want to be clear here. So Teresa, are you making a motion to amend the report?
Correct. Yeah, just to amend the report so that we give this vendor, who's done a great job, we just give him the 1 year extension and come back, following year in the event that he's still doing a good job so that we can renew for the final extension.
Okay, so Dr. Campos, you there?
Yeah, absolutely. The motion is to adopt the report as amended to modify recommendation number 1 to exercise the city's first year option and to renew the subject contract with International Environmental Corporation for $677,424.02, period. The rest will be stricken out. And that's on recommendation number 1.
And then I have a second from President Pro Tem Davis on that motion.
That's correct. And I wanted to add to the second is that from an operational point of view, the time in question is our own. The time in question is that of the bureaus in terms of when it is the appropriate time in which to come before the board to request the motion to pass so that we can move operations forward. And that is the time that we all have to embrace on an everyday basis.
Okay, do I have any objections to Commissioner Villegas's motion to amend? Commissioner Caloza? Vice President Garcia? Okay. I don't object either. So then the motion passes unanimously. Dr. Campos?
Yes, as amended.
Okay. Now do I have okay, so then we're actually, so we're all covered.
You just adopt the report as amended.
Got it. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Benuelos. The item is adopted as amended forthwith.
Thank you, Mr. Benuelos.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Hector. Thank you, everybody. Okay, that brings us to our last item today. Item number 8 is a transportation projects status update from LA County Metropolitan Transportation Authority and the Department of Transportation. Who all is with us? Dr. Campos.
Mr. President, we are asking for a 2-week continuation on this item to Wednesday, October 6, 2021. As you will notice, we do not have any members from the LA Metro team at this time. We were thinking of continuing it only for a week or 2. However, we do have a couple of items that are coming to your board in the next coming weeks. So we are proposing to extend this item to Wednesday, October 6, 2021, if there's no objections from your board.
I am perfectly comfortable with that. Anybody else have any concerns? All right, let's continue that to Wednesday, October 6th, item 8.
Thank you.
And does that clear the decks, Dr. Campos?
It does.
All right. Well, then, thank you, everyone. This meeting is officially adjourned. Everybody have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, Ted.